guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Des, and this is Books and Stuff. Today I'm reviewing The Mending String by Cliff Coon. So I'm going to read the back of this to you before I review it. Two stubborn people, more alike than they care to admit. A place of refuge that becomes a trap, and two pieces of string that will hold everything together. The Reverend Clayton Loveridge likes to say that his daughter Ellen was born shaking her head no. Now, the colicky baby has grown into a headstrong and bookish young woman whose behavior is calling into question all of her minister dad's time-tested parenting techniques. Ellen conforms to her father's regimented lifestyle up to a point, but remains determined to keep a secret hideaway for herself as a haven of refuge. She finds herself in muddy waters when her quest for independence gets her into trouble with the law and reveals an incriminating secret from her father's past. Caught in the crosshairs of reckless criminals and power-hungry church members, Ellen and Clayton must together face down both danger and accusations. Will the bond between father and daughter be strong enough to survive? So, Clayton is a reverend, and Ellen does listen to Christian music, but it's not necessarily a classic Christian music that Dad likes. It might be more of the heavier stuff or the rap stuff that is out there. So he doesn't want her listening to that. So he conforms her to listen to what he wants. She doesn't try over as hard at school, so she gets B's and C's. She could be an A student, but in English, she gets all A's. Like, that is her major. She loves to read the novels, the classics, everything else. She meets a boy, Osvaldo, and she ends up tutoring him, and it's the first time that her dad sees that maybe she's a normal teenage girl who's getting out of her books and getting a boyfriend and, whatever. But they are very respectful. They don't do anything that Dad would not approve of. But Osvaldo has two brothers. And these brothers are bad news. They're always in trouble with the law. On the way from New Mexico to where they live, their car broke down. The brothers stole a car. Mom refused to get into the car, so Mom and Osvaldo had to hitchhike in order to get to where they were going. So they steal all Mom's money. They are just really bad boys. And they make Mom feel guilty. If you loved me, you would just give me everything you have, type deal. And these boys then decide that Ellen is a target because she is dating their little brother. So a lot of stuff happens, and there's a cop, and he is on the church board, and he wants Reverend to slap down because he's so old school and he's not moving with the times, and he's still doing the old myths, or hymns, versus the newer upbeat stuff that the kids would like to do. So he's trying to get him to step down. And he does find things that he could maybe use against him, which would not be very Christian-like, and blackmail. And so he's struggling with that as well as to what he's going to do and how he's going to do this information. And so there's a lot that goes on here, and there's a lot of things that are full circle. But it's definitely a story about a father and a daughter in a rocky relationship. Mom had passed away, and so it is just the two of them because her other siblings had moved out. They're older. They moved on, have the families of their own. So she is struggling to find that connection, and he's struggling to find that connection. They are so headstrong, and they butt heads all the time. But when push comes to shove, and Ellen gets into trouble, it's Clayton who is there for him. And then he sees some of these things that he's like, I wish she would do differently, how it is benefiting them, and how she's able to stand up to people where he's backing down. So as much as he wants to say, stop it, he's like, yes, I'm so proud of you. So he struggles with that. So they have to find that common ground and he's going to do everything he can to help his daughter at any risk. And she's going to do everything she can to protect her dad at any risk. And when they're butting heads all the time and barely speaking to each other, that kind of makes it a little more difficult. I really enjoyed this. I'm pretty sure I got it at a church bazaar when you can fill like a bag of books for a couple dollars. And it was one that I threw in there. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great book. I highly recommend it. Even like if you're not into reading a Christian or religious book, I've read some in the past. I've never had a problem with it. But this was a phenomenal book, and there was a lot of great lessons in here. He teaches parenting classes, so he calls into question his own judgment, if he's even fit to be teaching parenting classes and relationship classes if he can't make his relationship with his daughter work. So it was a great book. I highly recommend it. The next book I'm going to be reading and reviewing is called The Stranger in the Woods. This is a true story about a gentleman who lived in the woods for 20-some years in Maine, and they called him the Hermit. It was recommended to me by one of the leaders of my son's scout troop quite a while ago, actually, and it was sitting on my shelf, so I just picked it up. I'm a little bit through it. But it is a very good book so far, and I'm anxious to review this for you. So this is the next book I'll be reading and reviewing. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day.